back there.
Ain't nobody back there.
Back
I had to
where?
run back there.
Back where?
Run, Forrest.
All right, welcome to the Temple of Mercy Association, aka TOMA Nation worship service. We're doing Facebook Live right here at the Bach Business Center, located at 644 East on 79th Street. I am Brother Minister Omari Jahi Atwood, co-founder of this great movement, Temple of Mercy Association. And we're going to introduce our founder in just a moment, and we're just asking for those that may be signed on to tell a friend, tell your neighbors, tell your mother-in-law, she'll tell everybody that we are live right here on Facebook Live. And we're about to hear a weighty word from a man that has been on the battlefield for over 30 years, servicing our people. I guess this is Palm Sunday or something. That was interesting. It needs to be on that thing over there. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. We had a little technical difficulty. Palm tree tried to attack me, but I don't think it's gonna stand as nice. But we subdued it. So now we're back, and I want to, what I was saying is that you're going to hear from our founder who has been on the battlefield for over 30 years, teaching and ministering to our brothers and sisters, you know, in the Inglewood community and in the South Side urban, areas for, again, over 30 years. God has been working with this brother. He has been sharing with him things that we need to understand because we have been misinterpreted the scripture of the Bible as well as the Holy Quran. We're not constantly getting the true interpretation of scripture. And because the word says you shall know the truth and the truth shall make you free, if we are not free, brothers and sisters, it's evident that we have not received the truth. With that being said, brothers and sisters, stand to your feet and welcome to the podium our leader, our teacher, and our guide, the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association, TOMA Nation, Brother Minister Raheem Kased Atta.
Attention. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Original salute.
Black power!
Original salute.
Black power!
Original salute.
Black power!
Black power means the power to define, the power to develop, and the power to defend that which is in the best interest of black people. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, he who made time the seed of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Atu, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims as Allah, the one God. Among the Rastafaris is Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all of those names, all of them, including the Yoruba name, Olodumaye and Obatala, all of those names refer to the same one, Almighty God. And it is to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that those children of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade are that lost 13 tribe, born right here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you all in the ancient, but yet holy words of peace, in the languages of our fathers of Hotep,
Hotep,
Shalom,
Shalom Alaikum,
Assalamu Alaikum,
Baragani,
Abaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. All greeting words and salutations of peace in the many different languages of our fathers. I greet you in peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the TOMA Nation, aka the Temple of Mercy Association. We're broadcasting live from the Bach Business Center at 644 East on 79th Street on this August day. Sunday, I believe it is the 12th, 2018. Tomorrow is Flag Day, in recognition of our own Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and his introduction to blacks and Africans all over the world of the flag being adopted by a council that came to a convention, and they chose the colors red, black, and green as our color for our flag that would make us the government that we need to become in this world. And on that day, August the 13th, I'm asking all of our people who consider themselves black or African American or Moors or Asiatics or Native Americans or whatever you put on your application, as if it says black, I'm talking to you. So we're asking you to fly a flag or wear a red, black, and green lapel or put a flag on the antenna of your car or some sticker somewhere or a button or anything. Wear red, black, and green. They got red, black, and green gym shoes. They got red, black, and green shirts, jackets. Get you some red, black, and green business cards and pass them out. But tomorrow is red, black, and green day. See, in the movie The Wiz, there was a part in The Wiz where they would mention a certain color and everything would change. And gold and red and all of that. And so I want to say to us, we got 3 colors. And I want to put it this way, similar to the movie. You want to be seen red, black, and green tomorrow. You got to be seen red, black, and green tomorrow. You know, the stuff that comes through me that is required of you be so basic, and it seems to be so easy for other ethnic groups on their day to ride throughout the city with their flag displayed. Or you walk down their block and their flag is displayed on their day. You don't have to tell them for some reason. That's why I continue to say that the black man and woman has a special challenge. That we see everything else valuable other than our own. That we see everything else of consequences, good, major consequences, things. I mean, it's like everything but us. It's like everybody but us, you know. And the Bud Billiken parade, what kind of person their right mind. I have to say it this way, because evidently he wasn't in his right mind. Will go against Marcus Garvey, talking about Senstack, and Abbott, both of them, of the Chicago Defender. And then turn around later on, instead of having a Marcus Garvey parade, you choose a Bud Billiken parade to give to black people. A fictional character that came from some folklore of Chinese people. That shows you the sickness of the black man and woman today.
That's right.
And I'm saying it that way because there is a cure. And all I have to say is 2 words. Marcus Garvey.
I said Black Power. I was ready to holler with you.
Marcus Garvey is the cure for your sickness. Woo. And somebody thought I was going to say Black Power, but we had already established that protocol. And last week I was extra happy to hear it again because I was feeling some kind of way, as they say, last Sunday. I still feel good, but you know, next week is what? The 3rd Sunday. And I want to talk about Black Power next week. I want to break down the word black and the word power, so we can understand why we say it and why we need to continue to say it, and we should never stop saying it. This month, and I know I was supposed to say who we are, so I do need to get to that part right quick. I am Brother Minister Raheem Cassette Aten, founder of this great TOMA Nation, along with our co-founder, Brother Minister Omari Jahi Aten, and the First Lady of our movement. In the Garden movement, they will call her Lady President. In our movement, we just say First Lady of the TOMA Nation. There's our own Sister Nikita Aisha Aten. And today, I want to talk to you all more about Black Power and how in our movement, the Temple of Mercy TOMA Nation being an all-inclusive, black conscious, righteous movement, we have what we call prescribed readings. I say that mostly every Sunday, but I wanted to just really go into your head. Every month we recognize either an ancestor that came before us or one that is presently and currently living that wrote some book, believing in our heart that if we don't keep this out front, we'll soon forget. Because most of the books that are our prescribed readings, nobody too much read these books on a daily basis except 2 of them. And that's the Bible and the Holy Quran. The rest of those books, you hardly read. You hardly know about them. The next generation hardly know about them. And so we make sure that our brothers and sisters, I'll say the 85% of our brothers and sisters who are out here in the world, out here in the street, never ever coming across those books, if they would just look at our videos, look at our tapes, listen to our tapes, come out here on a Sunday between 12:30 and 2 and hear some of this information that will lift you up, that will give you your self-esteem, that will tell you who you are and whose you are, that will make sure that if you wasn't black conscious when you got here, that you will be when you leave, even if it's just a temporary fix. Yeah, I have to say it the way it is. You know, I was talking to a lady yesterday trying to help her out. She called me this morning. She said it was gone 15 minutes after you left. She was truthful. And sometimes what you might be into what you're learning, you might lose it when you leave up out of here, but I pray that you hold on to it. Last month, we were teaching from a book called S.B. Fuller, the autobiography of S.B. Fuller, a proud entrepreneur that came to Chicago and created an empire, a business empire. And we should never forget S.B. Fuller. A whole lot of buildings and institutions here in this city was built by him, but destroyed by us. Let's tell it like it is. And then the following month, July, we recognize a brother that's still with us by the name of Claude Anderson.
That's right. That's right.
And Dr. Claude Anderson, I'm sure he's saying thank you. Dr. Claude Anderson is a black man who wrote a book called Powernomics. He wrote another book called Dirty Little Secrets. Ain't so little if you read the book. But secrets our government hold about us. Secrets that they don't tell you about us that will help you really realize why we're in the condition that we're in. Most people just in the condition and don't even know they are in a condition, but if they would stop sometime at some of these meetings and listen to our complaints, tells our condition. Y'all ever hear some of the complaints? Man, black people can't unite. Don't you ever hear that? Man, black people can't get along. Y'all ever hear that? You telling your condition in your complaint. Man, we just dog eat dog. Man, y'all know all the complaints we have, don't you? Complaining about the police. Yeah. Marching too much. Protesting too much. If you ain't, well, I have to say this, I want to say, if you ain't getting what you're marching for, you should stop marching, but they getting what they're marching for. You know? See, let me show you a dynamic here that y'all probably don't recognize, but I want y'all to say and think about this. Everybody talked about Father Pfleger's march on the damn line, right? There are a lot of black people complaining about him being white. He had a majority black group of people marching with him. Then a black man called a march on the South Shore. And this black man had a majority white people marching with him. Now, let's think about this for a minute. You talked about Father Pfleger, right? But mostly blacks marched with him. A black man called a march. You were not there. Now, let's get this right. You didn't ask those white people to leave. Because you probably wouldn't have nobody in. Right? And we say in the temple that if we're going to march and it's going to be something that's for us, let it be by us. Don't we say that?
That's right.
Now, if white people, I'm talking to you, if you are truly for our rise and the causes that we are marching for, why won't you go to Father Mike's church on Sunday? Why don't you march with him on Friday? Let's think about why I'm saying this. And don't tell me, no, we are not of the Catholic faith. Some of y'all marching with us are atheists. So don't use that excuse. If you're truly about us, like Father Mike said he is, then march with him. Let's see how that turned out. But no, you choose to march with us. You choose to be in our picture when we being more radical and standing up against police brutality and standing up against the mayor and standing up against all of these people that Father Flagler negotiate with. Let's tell that truth. You may not like it, but I have to tell it.
That's right.
You know. Ain't that a trip? How a white man negotiates?
Be good.
Now, you got all these white people marching for their cause in your parade. But you don't want to tell them to leave. You don't want to let them know that this is exclusively our problem. What's the problem there? This is the reason we can't unite. That's one of the reasons we can't unite. Because every time we walk out of our door to participate in something, it looked like something from the 60s, looking like we just walking around creating the same mistakes over and over and over again. Whatever gains we got from the 60s and lost, you ain't going to march to get them back. It's not going to happen. Now, we got something called National Black Business Month that I'm proud to say a brother by the name of LaShawn Ford, the state rep, is championing some of our causes. Now, if you recall, he was going to run for mayor at one time. But yet here come the enemy trying to say that he owed on taxes and this and that and all of that, tried to destroy him. And so when he backed out, then everything quieted down. See, it's like saying, niggas, stay in your place. That's what it's saying, ain't it? Because as soon as you jump in, look, a whole lot of brothers and sisters can't run for no office right now. Because everything about them will come up. I don't care. And today is going to be rough because almost everybody black got some kind of record. And that one little black person who don't have one, if he hang around long enough, he gonna get one. Be alive long enough. I know a man went to jail for a parking ticket and stayed in there almost a month. He was 60 years old. They want everybody black to have a record. He said, Minister, what about you? They got me with a DU. I believe. No, wrong one. UUW. That's what it's called. They got me with a UUW. It was a misdemeanor. And all of a sudden on the paper it said felony. That's how the white man works. While you sleep, he's still planning. While you sleep, he working on the atmosphere. Even changing books. He done got so technologically advanced. He changed books before your very eyes by going into certain vortexes and these wise devils. And they can only do it because we're asleep. But they can't do it if we wake up. They can't do it. But we don't want to wake up, it seems like. Here we got National Black Business Month. How many people know about National Black Business Month in Facebook land? Probably hardly nobody. But it says National Black Business Month. Now, what are we supposed to be doing during Black Business Month? Buying black. Now, if we were already buying black, if we were already buying from one another, then during National Black Business Month, all we can be doing is picking different black businesses that we want to showcase so they can come up on the podium and something and talk about their business. That's all. We wouldn't have to be saying buy black, go buy black, this, that. Now, think about that. Look at your mentality with your third eye. What does that say about you as a people that we got to keep telling you to buy black? I want y'all to start thinking that. We're going to find out what group got the mental illness now. If that's what I got to do to get you all to do what everybody else is doing, then I must do it. Yes, we have a special case. And because it's a special case, then ain't nobody white or any other ethnic group going to be able to get us out of this. So why should they be marching with us? I'm gonna keep talking about that till they hit home to some of you marchers.
They on the agenda.
See? Oh yeah. Some of the black folks got their own agenda. Some of us still think we can't do nothing without white folks' presence. I don't think you can. I know what you want to say. I know the white man got all the money. That's what you want to say. Then when Willie Wilson standing there to pass you out some money, then you want to go to court and say he's doing something wrong. And where's the backing of black people? I'm here to say I support Willie Wilson.
Yeah, he ain't doing that. Them white folks ain't
He ain't doing nothing that white folks ain't been doing. He's taking care of his own first. That's what every other race of people does. Take care of their own first. It is a law of nature. What's that say for black people? Talk about your mental condition now. We must be out of sync with nature. Obama must have been out of sync with nature, or they probably put his foot over the stove every night in the White House. Something had to happen. Because if it's natural, then we should be doing it. If we are natural people. Every time we walk out the door, it should be automatic. We're looking for a black business. Now, it might be rough finding everything you need. You almost run out of gas or bus fare if you were going grocery shopping for a month. Did you know that? Looking for a black. So now that means we got another problem to solve during National Black Business Month, right? We got to solve the problem that I mentioned last week. What problem was that? Was it build more business?
Sustaining black business.
Ah, sustaining black business. Because brothers and sisters, be honest with you, there is no problem with blacks going into business. Yeah. We got so many blacks going to business, it ain't funny. The problem is staying in business. That's where the problem lies. We got to find out why. Then we got to fix it. Now, why ain't nobody trying to fix it? Because it take a little work. And that's the work we don't want. So we'll go downtown and hear the white man tell us how to fix something. We'll go to City Hall for some workshops so he can tell us how to fix our own stuff. Because we still, no matter what, are under this servitude mentality. Where we are servants. Don't y'all know that? I'm going to ask you again. You might say, no, I'm black power. Black. We're servants to the white man. And when we rebel, you're just like a rebellious slave. A smart Negro. And with me talking like I'm talking, I would be considered one of those smart Negroes. Because I ain't supposed to stir you up or wake you up. I ain't supposed to make you see the reality that all mostly white people marched on Lakeshore Drive for their own cause. It wasn't for no police brutality. It wasn't for no gun violence in their community. They wasn't marching for that reason. And don't you ever believe they were. So I said, if you're going to march, Webb said one, I said another. Webb said march with this dollar to another black business. I say march through the side streets in the roughest neighborhoods of your community and talk to your people. That's what I say, if you're going to march. Let them see you coming down the side street. You can't come down there any old way. I didn't get a chance to change that. Because I put it in airplane mode. So it's ringing. You gotta push that button on the side. No, on the side. Yeah. Yes, you need it. So we got National Black Business Month. And the guy who I just mentioned, who said marching with your dollar, brother, let me get this. Brother LaShawn Ford, with the help of Brother Regan Fellows, They not only wanted it to be National Black Business Month, but they wanted it to be in honor of an icon here in Chicago by the name of Dr. Webb Evans, who they call Mr. by Black, who we call Mr. by Black. And we will never lose sight of a man who for 52 years educated us on why we need to buy black. Some of us can't do something for 2 months, and your attention span be gone. You be on something else. This man stayed on the course, I said, for 52 years, longer than some of you all were born. Let me see you stay on something for 52 years. Let me see somebody stay married for 52 years. Let me see you stay in the same house for 52 years. Come on. Y'all got to understand that that is not just your average everyday task to stay on one subject, one situation, and don't waver, don't wind up somewhere doing something else or letting somebody else put something else on your plate, but you stay focused, laser sharp focused on buying black and educating your people on why they need to buy black, on why we need to circulate the dollar, on why we need to recognize that we got so many people in our community that got businesses and they don't look like us. Saying that every time they leave at night, they take our money out of the community and they don't come back bringing nothing, he said, only a bucket to leave out again that night and take the money back out of the community.
Right.
That's what Dr. Webb Evans said. And he made sure everybody knew. He walked around with flyers all day in his arms, all day long, going everywhere. If he see you and stop you and talk to you, he passed those flyers out about buy black, why you need to buy black, talking about the issues in the community, and letting us know that if we started circulating our dollars among ourselves, we'll begin to move up off the economic bottom. Some of the violence will go down. He coined a phrase, said, stop the killing and start the building. That's what Dr. Webb Evans said. Everyone knew him from that cap that he wore on his head. Everybody knew him for that cap. And right here at the Bob Center, we have a lot of his artifacts that we're going to put up in a room that you'll be able to see all his works and how all the people gave him his accolades for the work that he did. And most of these groups that's out here now that are dealing with buying black and whatnot, they got the idea from Dr. Evans. Now, a lot of them will say, no, we didn't. We got it from Marcus Garvey. We got it from, well, I tell you what you did get from Dr. Evans. If you want to say Garvey and Elijah, you got to remind them. Because if you were at any Kwanzaa event, you bumped into him, and he reminded you about buying black. And if he was at anybody's funeral that you know of, he would tell you, he would get up there, he made sure he got on the mic when it was time for people to give remarks. And I don't care who you was. I don't care if you didn't buy black. I don't care if you was a child. He would get up there and say, you know, this little kid right here, this little child right here, he would have grew up today and I know he would agree with me. He would have told you, buy black. That's right. But they snuffed his life out at a young age, but he would have said, buy black.
Yes, sir.
Did you see him do that at
Yes,
film?
sir. Yes, sir.
He didn't care who you was. He didn't care what kind of meeting it was. I don't care if it was a meeting on who you gonna vote for. He gonna say buy black. And he did not back down. His last dying breath, UAP ain't gonna continue to buy black. How can you just forget a man like that? How can you just not recognize him and read his book, How Blacks Can Get Off the Economic Bottom? He fits in the same lineup as all the other people that has gone before us. That's why we, in this movement, have to continue our community activist awards. Because if we don't, these people who did this great work, these great works in Chicago will be forgotten. Marion Nzinga stamps. If we don't say her name, you won't hear it anymore. Have you heard it before I said it? You been hearing anybody talk about it? No. Lou Palmer. His name never comes up until it comes from this podium. Nobody knows who he is. How about Beauty Turner? Who gonna know all that she did? What about our new ancestor, Pat Hill? How many people gonna talk about her in Chicago and keep her name out there? We did it when we had our awards. We constantly let people remember and told them of these people who came before us, and we keep them alive. Lou Myers, one of the greatest attorneys next to Cochran. Did y'all hear me? And Eugene Pinchot.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, I'm naming them. Reverend M. Earl Sartre. I was telling some of the millennials about him. I say he was the first civil rights activist before Martin Luther King. He was doing his thing in the 30s, but he was in Chicago while others were elsewhere. Nobody knew what was going on up north. These bread trucks and other businesses that were operating in our community but did not hire black people. He saw you ride through the community parking your milk truck, parking your bread truck, parking your trucks right in our community and filling up the stores, and there's a white person getting out the truck. And he like, y'all feeding us and everything, but you can't hire one of us to deliver that stuff into our community? The man went to jail more than once for our sake, to get black people jobs. He went to jail because he was downtown at First National Bank telling black people, take your money out of that bank and put it in this black bank downtown, or form your own credit union. Out south. They arrested him. He even had a picture when he was arrested with Martin Luther King Jr. when he went south. People don't know about this man. He made his transition when he was 94, I believe, years old. I had the pleasure of meeting him too. You got to keep their names alive. We have another brother just ascended into the ancestral vibration. And his name is Brother Hal Baskin.
Yep.
And Brother Hal Baskin, the media never, ever, never, and that's just how the media is, let him live down his past. Every time he ran for an office, every time he tried to get into mainstream white America to try to bring some stuff, before them, for our people, they brought up his past. Former gang number, this, that, and games. Everything dealt with games. Not G-A-I-N-S. G-A-N-G-S. Some white folks say games, so maybe you can understand. They don't say games, they say games. Y'all ever notice that? That's how they talk. You game bangers. Only Father Flegger said it like us. And so they'll be having his home going soon, but Inglewood will never be the same. They don't give you your accolades, but there's gonna be a gap in Inglewood, and they'll know exactly what he was holding down just by his presence. See, he may not have a big or major presence in the world, but he had a presence in Inglewood that presence being removed, you're going to see something different in Inglewood. And now all those who spoke against him and fought against him in Inglewood gonna wish he was back there. So we're gonna have to do our activist awards because we gotta remember how. See, it's easy to remember people's faults. And every last one of the people I named had faults. Every one of them. I don't know one I named that didn't. All of them had challenges because they were human. You know, and human comes with frailties and weaknesses and insecurities and all of those things. If it didn't, then all the motivational speakers would be out of a job. Tell the truth, shame the hell with devil. I don't know where that came from. Look, y'all, let me get these specs here. 70 people, they say, were shot over the weekend, last weekend. And then we had the lowest Bud Billiken parade turnout ever. Yeah, it wasn't this big.
I was there.
Was it big to you?
No. I'm talking about no.
The lowest turnout. Now I would speak and say, oh man, that's a damn shame. But what I'm trying to say is, the lower that turnout is, the bigger our turnout should be for a Marcus Garvey parade. That's what should happen. We should replace the Bud Billiken parade with the Marcus Garvey parade, a real person that lived and walked among us and did things for us. Matter of fact, dealing with economics and nation building and building a nation inside of a nation, he is the greatest man alive, black man alive here in America as our example of being free. I know some people don't want to believe that. But name somebody who matched him and did better. Name right now. Every other person from Yahweh bin Yahweh to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, their stuff pales compared to what Garvey did. I'm not diminishing what they've done. They've done great works. They are doing great works. But none of them have surpassed the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. I'm not calling him a god, but you got to give that man his props. Come on. Who you know right now got 6 million members? Who? Now, mostly black people get one major full-service supermarket, and it lasts about 6 months. We don't even get a year. Y'all know, tell the truth, I know about 3 or 4 of them we had. One of them, Dorothy Tillman, was gracious enough to fight hard for, and it right now is a credit union and something else building, and about 2, 3 buildings. But that used to be a grocery store. It was a black grocery store. I know because I was part of the grand opening. That's how I know. It didn't last a year. Then a black man had one in a Hispanic neighborhood. It didn't last a year. Now they're saying he was supposed to open up another one over in South Shore, over there on 71st. We ain't heard nothing else about it. Then we got a black man that bought the Regal and went on to try to buy Sears, that area, to set it up as an indoor shopping mall, and all kind of stuff he had laid the blueprint for, and a black alderman trying to stop him from succeeding. Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Name her name?
Oh. Whoop.
I'm trying to remember her name. Y'all, if I say it, y'all might know it. I don't know.
The tall, light skinned lady?
No, I know she's very, well, she used a lot of profanity. What's her name?
The light skinned lady. We met on 71st Street in South Shore.
She's the alderman. Her name will come to me. real soon. But I don't know it right now. And I would say it if I knew it. Believe me, I'm not holding it back. But my point I'm making is that nobody is going to save us from us for us but us. Nobody. The key word is nobody. It's not saved. Nobody. 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 You have to sing an old Negro spiritual or something to get y'all to get the point. I certainly will. I'm talking, you know, that's called ropes. I was about to go there. Thank you, sir. I don't have to do it. But no, I mean, we got to see this stuff. We got to make this stuff hit home and hit hard so we can wake up. You know, Miss Louis Farrakhan said, we done even degraded from being sleep to dead. He said, at least if you were asleep and somebody beat on the door and was kicking it in and everything, you would wake up, wouldn't you? He said, but if you dead, you beat on it, kick it, and all kinds of stuff. Would you wake up? He said, we dead. He said, we just died. Like the old race, we dead. I thank God for Marcus Klein.
Yes, sir.
And what he's, give him a hand, y'all.
Yes, sir.
And what he's doing for our young people to help our generation to survive into the future. And a guy by the name of Dr. Watkins talked about him on YouTube when he was interviewing Claude Anderson. And he was telling Claude Anderson that he was in Chicago and he went by that school and he talked to Marcus Klein, and he listened to his students, you know, break down colonialism. What you know about that, huh? Yeah. And they were breaking that word down, and some other word they said they broke down and gave the definition of it and everything. And some of the youth there were like 5 years old doing it. And he said, man, how come we can't come together and get behind that brother? See, you got a brother already doing it, trying not to sell out. If you don't want to support Umar Johnson and his school to be, you can support Marcus Klein in the school that he already got set up. What is it called? Freedom Academy.
Freedom Home, right?
Freedom Home?
Yeah,
Or Freedom?
Freedom Home.
You talk faster than Beyonce. Well, I told you all y'all got something in common. Y'all will be going down.
It's about three of them. Freedom Home Academy and
Freedom Home Academy.
Yes.
Improvement International.
All right. I'll let y'all say the others. But my point, and I only got 15 minutes and I ain't read nothing again. I'm always doing this, but that's okay. When I talk about this violence, this gun violence, do you know that we really cannot advance as a people killing each other? I didn't even say wounding. I said killing each other. You can't advance as a people. There's no way in history that you can fight a war on the outside of you while a war is going on the inside. And if we're warring with ourselves on the inside of our communities, then we're losing. We're going to implode on ourselves. Remember, this is a war against us, while someone else is warring against us. Understand that. Preferably some young people hear what I'm saying. You know, handle your business, but not to the point of killing nobody. You gonna have conflict. That's natural. But you gotta learn how to resolve it without killing your brother. You gotta love yourself. When you love yourself, you can love your brother and your sister. Because you don't want to kill yourself, do you?
Right.
So we got to come to grips with this thing. I'm not telling any human being who legally owns a gun to turn your gun in. Don't think that I'm saying that when I'm speaking against gun violence. If it's legal keep it. But I'm just saying, keep it in the house. Don't take it out on the street. Hold it. Save it for a real war. Yeah, gun up. In the temple, we don't carry weapons. In our movement, we don't tell you to gun up. But we ain't crazy enough to tell everybody to disarm. There's no government or any kind of situation that begins to thrive that should not have security. We just kind of vibe from a higher calling. See, none of our members who are currently in our movement can stand up on this mic and say they done got beat down. That somebody done whooped them in the street. Now, I'm not saying that our former members can say that. I'm talking about the members who are actively involved in this movement can't say that somebody done robbed them and left them on the street for dead. That has not happened. Can anybody in here say one of our members got shot? No. I can't speak for the former members again. I'm talking about current. Have any member in our movement say they've been diagnosed with cancer since they've been in here? People dying of cancer all day long. I talked to a brother on the phone today that I have been trying to get in contact with for a while. I didn't even know he had cancer. He said his cancer is spreading. See, when I speak of this movement, I ain't bragging at all. But I'm trying to make you think. I'm trying to help you to understand something, that there is a creative influence. There is a creator. There is a great mind. All right? That covers this movement. That covers our movement. That covers the TOMA nation. Why? Because we know that if we do what the Creator asks us to do, then He'll do what He promised for us. It's just that simple. Represent Him. I know you think you got to represent Him like Jesus did, right? And so you might want to think I'm going against the scripture here. Because Jesus got whooped. Right? Non-recognition, right? We're supposed to be taking an example of Jesus and get whooped, right? Who believe that? Anybody in here believe that? John the Baptist got his head chopped off. He was standing up for righteousness. Peter and Paul and a couple of others got hung upside down by their feet and beheaded. I thought I'd share all this with y'all, because y'all heard me saying some things like God got us. God got our back. All of those people were used as an example, wasn't they? Today, brothers and sisters, there are still people whose assignment is to come into this world and give their life as their sacrifice. I mean, actually give their life, die, like a Stephen Biko or somebody. But that was not the assignment for the TOMA. That was not our assignment. Our assignment was not to be a martyr. Our assignment was not to go get yourself killed. But it doesn't keep us from going into dangerous situations. It doesn't keep us from going into the fire to save our people. But we do understand that God keeps us around as long as we're doing our job. And our job is saving lives. Our job is saving people. Our job is saving them from themselves. Our job is helping them come out of this system of things and learn how to depend on God. I mean the true God. The one that said, I feed the birds, I feed animals and everything, every day get something to eat. How much more would I do for you when I created you above all these things? You should not be worrying about all of that stuff if you was doing what I asked you to do. Maybe your worry comes from you not doing all of what he asked you. You ever thought about that? And every time you get back on it, he proves to you that he in the picture. Every time. We got a job to do. We got to holler like well. But now I'm going to say this before we close out. This is international. This is National Black Business Month. This is in honor of Marcus Garvey and Webb Evans. And on August 31st at 1718 West 79th Street, we're going to be observing the international holiday. We're asking you to come out and be with us, asking you to come out and bring your red, black, and green and get with us. We're going to have some great speakers and we're going to have some great entertainment and we're going to talk about solutions. It's going to be 10% problem and 90% solution. Now, it's going to come to a point where we're going to have to stop talking about the solution. Because just talking about the solution don't hop off the pages or off your mouth and start working for you. There's work to be done. Dr. Evans said it this way. It's okay to pray. He said, but after you get up off your knees, put some legs on that prayer. That means some work that has to be done. So I want to say this. I support Dr. Evans, and in our movement, we teach health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Dr. Evans says education, votes, and dollars gets us off the economic bottom. I will quote Dr. Evans, and I will stand behind his words, and I will certainly show you if there's a difference in how we teach in this movement and how others carry their back. Our banner is to 100% depend on God. Our banner is 100% to draw off the ether, to draw off and understand the level of God consciousness in order to truly take from the great mind. Our belief is we'll support you in yours until you wake up. We don't believe that voting gonna save us. We don't believe that getting into politics will save us as a people from our condition. We don't believe that there are any prophets anymore, apostles anymore. People telling what they be doing, fortune tellers or your
Soothsayers.
you know, they call them soothsayers in the Bible, but people that read your hands and tell you your future. We're in your future. We're in the future. And the only thing the younger generation gonna do is repeat it. Unless there's a major strategic move in the form of an actual revolution, where out of 30 million of us, 2 million got to get a life. For the other, 28 million to be free. But ain't nobody in that line to be the 2 million. And when you step up to that plate and want to know truly strategy and the unity force that we got to muster up to make that happen, everything we're doing is going to amount to nothing but some more crumbs from the white man's table. Until we wake up and work together and do for ourselves, Black Business Month will never become Black Business Year. Black History Month will never become Black History Year. We don't want to keep telling our story and it sound like the 1980s or the 1880s or the 1780s. We want to tell a story and say never again. And say, look where he brought us from. That's the kind of story we want to tell. That's the kind of people we have to become. We have to become that independent. And until we do, we will continue in this condition. And that is learning the white man's education, trying to fight to be accepted by him in this world, trying to get grades or be graded by him according to what he say is right. According to his standard, yes. And until we do for self, until we do what Marcus said, until we do what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said do, we will continue in this way forever. Wake up, black man. Wake up, black woman. The world is looking at you. The world is watching you on Facebook. The world is watching you on television. The world is watching you on all your social media. Wake up, black man, black woman. They're looking at how you treat your woman, black man. They're looking at how you treat your man, black woman. They're watching you. The store owners of other ethnic groups don't respect you or your woman because you don't. Wake up, black man. Take back that which is yours. First it starts with your woman. Take her out of that Arab's arms. Take her out of that Indian store owner's arms. Take her out of that gas station owner's arms. I know what I'm saying. Take her out of that real estate owner of that building's arms. Because she can't pay her rent because you ain't man enough to help her take care of the child you made. Wake up. The world is watching you. I am Brother Minister Rahim Hussein Ajay, the interpreter for this day and time, broadcasting live from the Bob Business Center at 644 East 79th Street, asking that you come and join us. And we entertain questions when we go off the air. So if you want to be a part of this, get here. Ask your question. Become a member of this great nation that we're building. Nations work together. When you become a nation, the Moorish nation, the nation of Islam, the TOMA nation, then we sit down together and create a united nation where we all work together. Holy Quran says, I created you in tribes, that you should work together. So we ain't telling you drop your flag and all that. No, but if you ain't with no one, if you ain't with nobody, where you are ain't serving your best interest. You need to be here. You need to be here. I'm going to close with Black Power. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Yeah. Yep.
Black Power!
Black Power!
Black Power!
Black Power!
Black Power!
Black Power!
The power to define, defend, and develop that which is in the best interest of black people. I leave you as I greeted you. In the ancient and yet holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers in Hotel. Shalom.
Shalom alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Lake Salam, sir.
Bargani.
Jamo Sante Habargani.
Afil.
Alafi
And
Ndukwe.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you and peace.
Peace, peace.